Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving week. Looking forward to a few days with family and eating a lot of food. I'm sure you are too. This week's schedule is pretty light. Tonight, Sugar Bears host our friends from just down the street, Central Baptist Mustangs, 6:30 at the Center. Saturday, the basketball Bears head to Atlanta, take on Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets at noon Saturday, our time. Sunday, women's basketball is at Kansas State in Manhattan. Game time is 3:30. Go ahead into next week. Next Wednesday, the men play at Little Rock at 7 p.m. at the Jack Stevens Center. Next Saturday, a week from, the men play at UAPB at 6 p.m. in Pine Bluff. Women host Little Rock at 1 p.m. at the Fair Center, so a full day of basketball on next Saturday. We're going to start today with women's basketball because Tony Kemper has to get over to their shoot-around for tonight. Basketball Sugar Bears played just once last week, lost at Oklahoma State in front of a crowd of about 4,700 kids. It was our first loss of the season. Kind of dug a hole in the first quarter. We were down 30-12. Played pretty evenly the rest of the way. Jade Upshaw, who was playing in her home state of Oklahoma, had a game-high 22 points. Kinley Fisher had 14. Oklahoma State 13 three-pointers and shot 55% from the field overall. It's a little tough to overcome. As I said, we host CBC at 6:30 tonight at the Fair Center. Mustangs are 3-2 overall under their new head coach who played for CBC a few years back. Now let's hear from Coach Tony Kemper.
Yeah, so just kind of looking back at Oklahoma State, that's probably the best I can recall a team playing against one of my teams in a game like that. I mean, I'm not sure. We needed to play really well. I'm not sure they got that, but I don't know that we played quite as off as maybe what the score looked like. They made 13 of 22 threes. So Steve said 55% from the field. They made 60% from three. So pretty much any time we made a small error, it cost us 3 points. And so, I mean, hats off to them. They played very well. They were coming off of, so they played Fairfield the game before us, which Fairfield is probably the best mid-major team in the country this year, and it was a 2-point game. I think they did a very good job of making sure that the next one wasn't a close one too. So they get a lot of credit for that. We did start slow, 9-0, 30-12 in the first quarter. I think most of the credit goes to them once again. We weren't quite as good as we wanted to be, but boy, they made us pay for any little error we made. Jade playing really well. Last Monday, as soon as I left here, I saw on the internet she was the ASUN Player of the Week. Well-deserved. She's electric. She can really score. She has improved a lot in other phases of her game. We're really gonna miss her. Super positive kid. She loves to play. I think she's gonna probably end up trying to play again, and that's sort of changed over the last year. And we have, I think if you talk to a lot of our players, they kind of have that experience. I don't know that Jade was having that much fun with basketball until she came to Central Arkansas. And she had a heck of a year last year. She comes to work every day with a lot of energy and a smile on her face. And so I think she's kind of thought, well, maybe I want to do this more. And I think she's right. I think that she has the energy level to go to Iceland or go, women's basketball, that's kind of where you end up. Bulgaria, Iceland, someplace like that. And it's about a life experience. But she has the personality to go through the culture change and learn something from it. She's got the personality to go to work every day where maybe there's only one other person there that knows your language. But they'll like her because her language is I can make it. So if you want to get me open, we'll score a little bit. So anyway, Jade played well again at Oklahoma State. It's fun for her to play well at home. She did a nice job of scoring the ball. Usually those games are hard to score. I think offensively we played better than defensively. I think only a couple times when we went back and watched, it's like we're pressing a little bit on that play and we need to be a little bit more patient. It's usually the hardest thing. They have a lot of things that go well for them on offense, so you try to press and score, and that's pretty hard to do. You got to make sure you get good shots. You got to work the ball. And for the most part, I think we did a pretty good job of attacking them. I think if we could have gotten the 60s somewhere, that's a pretty good number. We just needed to play better defense. So shifting to this week, we have CBC tonight. Important to get back home. We want to continue to play well at home. That was a thing last year. We've been on the road for the last two, went 1-1, so pretty big good swing for us on the road. And now we got to get back home and take care of business tonight. And then shift to Kansas State, which honestly, it's the best team I've ever coached against. They're very, very good. Ioka Lee is, I think, probably the best center in the country. I think they're 9th this week. They might have went up, actually, I don't know. They were 9th last week, and they did not lose. They won. The last game was at their place, 111-45 against Milwaukee. So we've got our hands full in that game. But best center in the country. You can't, as I told you up here last week, I don't love watching Oklahoma State because I can't figure out who to help off of. That was right. They made 13 of 22 threes. K-State's same problem with probably even a better center. So that's going to be good for us too. I mean, we need to learn to handle ups and downs of a basketball game. I think we grew in that at Oklahoma State. I felt like at the beginning of this year, to get better, we needed to be able to do more things well. Defensively, last year we did one thing, we did pretty good at it, but if you figured out how to attack that, we were not great in moving our game. We started to do that stuff against Oklahoma State because we had to. I mean, the first quarter, everything was going against us. So we had to be able to change things up, and I think the urgency of that game and how it played out allowed us to learn a little bit. We're going to have to do the same thing at Kansas State. So it'll be a good week for us. We're going up there on Friday night, long trip, so we'll be up there for an extra day, and that'll be fun for me. That's basic. Not my hometown. I'm from the middle of nowhere, but my whole family, but me, is a Kansas State Wildcat. So I promise I'll make sure they have the right kind of purple on, or we're not going to help them get tickets. But it's a good time. They'll be off, so I get to see some of them, and kids are going to go too. So it'll be fun. So, any questions?
I do have one. Those games are hard. Oklahoma and Kansas State. What do the women come out of those games saying?
I think we felt like we didn't perform the way we wanted to perform against Oklahoma State. I mean, everyone's different, and every message is different. I think that we could see a lot of things on film that I think are correctable. I don't know that we could have won that game if we would have corrected them. They played very well. I mean, and conversely, I've watched this team make 18 threes against Hendrix, and I've watched us make 12 against Tennessee Martin. So I've been on the other side a couple times this year where I was like, well, that was nice. We got through that press and hit another three. So I've had to experience the other side now. But I feel like I say this a lot. I mean, I'll tell you after tonight. I think we should be motivated. I think we should play hard. I think we should have the motivation edge tonight at home. I think similar to what they did against us. They were coming off a game where maybe it didn't go how they wanted to go, and they were at home, and they got after us. And I think it should be the same type of response from our team. So, but I think you usually kind of stiffen your neck and figure out where you need to go. And so it's a growing experience, and try to look at it that way. Anybody else? Go Sugar Bears. Thanks.
I think he's constantly mentioned Iceland because it's 48 degrees in here today. So I think that's why that popped in his head. Goodness. Our volleyball Sugar Bears wrapped up an outstanding season last Friday in Fort Myers, Florida in the ASUN tournament. We beat North Florida 3-2 on Thursday in the ASUN quarterfinals. Won the first set, lost the second, won the third, lost the fourth. Took the set 5, 15-12. We were down 10-6 and went 9-2 to finish it out to move on. Freshman Reagan Harp had 15 kills. Allison Holloway had 13. Mackenzie Vernon had 12. Kaylin Coons had 57 assists. In the semifinals, the very next day, we lost 3-0 to Lipscomb. We had a very uncharacteristic 26 hitting errors for us. Finished up an outstanding season, 17-12 overall, 13-3 in the ASUN, as we've talked about. We had several well-deserved postseason honors last week after Bearbackers. Setter of the Year, first team All-ASUN, Lacey Bohannon. Second team All-ASUN, Kaylin Coons, Alexis McDaniel, Mackenzie Vernon. All-freshman team, Reagan Harp. ASUN All-Academic team, Kaylin Coons, Lacey Bohannon. And the most important one, at least today, the Coach of the Year in the ASUN, John Newberry. Let's hear from him.
All right. It's been a year since he's been up here, so yeah, it's been right at a year. Kingston still goes to school. Miss Megan Fodio is one of his teachers there at the study center here on campus. So, anyways, yeah. And then I found out while we were down in Florida, he decided to jump off a chair and land into the door. So that was good. So, little battle ones. Anyway, I'm gonna sit you down. You're getting hit. All right. I want to talk about the game just real fast against Lipscomb. Walked away from that extremely disappointed, to be honest with you. I hated that loss. That was probably the number one loss of the year. We had a handful of them, but that was not a fun loss. It was the only time we got swept in the conference from our 4 losses. Lipscomb was better. They were better. I've always thought they've been a slightly better team. We just have better chemistry. I can tell you that right now. The girls are very much bought into each other. We've got some little injuries that definitely played into that. That's just been kind of nagging over the last few weeks, last month and a half. And so our performance was not where we wanted it to be. We switched up a couple of things that just tactical things that we did, and that was a game time decision. I think it, but ultimately us having 26 hitting errors and hitting 090 for the most part, that we haven't done that in a long time. It's Steve's right, very uncharacteristic of our team. So half the team, at least the ones that are returning, are upset and they're ready for next year right now. The locker room talk after the game was, thank you guys, thank you seniors for being kind of ride or die. And then it was very much into when you get back from the Christmas break, it's go time. And they want to push and they want to be pushed back. So I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do. We will be averaging right around 6'2" across the front line next year. That's from a 5'11" Lacey Bohannon all the way to a 6'4" lefty right side. And I'll have a 6'3" middle, 6'1" Reagan Harp, 6'4" Mackenzie Haas, who y'all haven't even seen yet. She's working her ACL tear. She's fully cleared now. She's fully ready to go. So she's got a whole spring ready to go. So we have a lot of talent right there. Our ball control, like our passing, we're losing Shelby Owens, and but we haven't been able to announce it just yet. So I guess I can't talk about next year just yet. I don't want Natalie to get on to me. You'll still get on to me. She'll still get on to me. She's taught me well. So she taught me very well. But no, I cannot be more proud of the girls throughout this whole entire season. I made 5 changes to my coaching habits after a lot of self-reflection from last year. So going 2-14 last year in the conference to 13-3, there were some drastic changes that need to happen within the team and within me. I knew what the right thing was to do. It was just a matter of time because I knew what we had this year. And I'm so glad that everybody bought in. I cannot be more excited about, number one, Kaylin Coons. She, against our North Florida game, it was the best I've ever seen that kid. The best. It's like just having a quarterback out there that just does no wrong. You just don't see it all the time. You have some good games. Kaylin had a near perfect game. And so being able to see that, just once again, to be able to have that for another year, for at least one more year, is just, I can't wait. Mackenzie Vernon, our senior right side, she's going to be probably one of the biggest people that I'm going to miss next year, but we will have a big 6'4" lefty right side. It's just been sitting right there this whole year. I've been wanting to put that kid in, but we just have 2 great outsides. or two great right sides, and so we're just waiting around for that. And then, Lacey Bohannon, first team all-conference from right here in Benton, Arkansas. She still has 2 more years left. She's just a sophomore, redshirt sophomore right now. She's got 2 more years left. Reagan Hart is a freshman. Grayson Button, our 6'3" middle, is a sophomore. And then we'll have a lot of ball control. That's all sophomores, juniors, and then I'll have a freshman too. So the next year is going to be really, really bright. I can't thank you guys so much for y'all's support this year. I don't know. We had a great turnaround, and the Coach of the Year thing was very overwhelming for me. I was able to find out through a nice email and then some text messages through a few people. It's extremely humbling to know that self-reflection and then change within my part is getting recognized. Because I think our backs are up against the wall. People knew what we were doing, and I feel like we got a lot of people's best. And so being able to finish out this way, I'm so proud of this team. So proud. But we look forward to a Christmas or a Thanksgiving break. I got to sleep into 7:30 this morning, and that's a long time for me. So now I get to. We've been playing with a volleyball and a bunch of baseballs all morning long. I've missed a lot of that, and so being able to be around family after this fun season is going to be so important. But I can't thank y'all enough. It's just been an overwhelming season. So thank you guys so much. Any questions or anything?
How is Lacey?
Lacey needs about 2.5 months off. She's got a stress fracture, as some of you guys might have recall. It's in her left leg. It's right where she got injured from a few years ago. It's a season-ending injury a couple years ago. Kid just never, she just never quite had that break for an injury-free season. So we just need a couple months for that bone to heal up, and she'll be fine after that. Yes, sir.
How come a number of your players don't play each volleyball? I realize they're different games, but it would seem like somebody would play both. And was there a good reason why they don't?
I definitely feel like there's 2 girls for sure that should transition between both of them. Reagan Harp has been one of them that we recruited her for both. But Samantha Cousins would be another one that I would highly recommend. She's never played beach. I just think that she'd be really, really good at it. She's got great hand contact. Yes, you're right. It is a completely different sport. It's completely different. Different type of, just being able to get your legs underneath you, getting those sand legs, and then just the cardio side of it. Oh, you buttoned your shirt. Good job. Wow. So first. Anyway, but yeah, there's a couple of them, and Avery's here. We're going to definitely discuss here sometime soon. So, anyways, anything else? Cool. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank y'all.
Well, Sugar Bears basketball only played once last week. The men played a lot of basketball. Played overtime on Thursday, double overtime yesterday. We lost to a talented SEMO team on Thursday and won overtime. Elias Cato and Braden Fagbemi had 20 points each. Taylor Lane had 17 points, 9 rebounds. UNC Asheville then beat SEMO on Friday in the neutral game at the Fair Center. And then we got Asheville yesterday. We went 50 minutes of basketball. Elias Cato had a career-high 23 points, 9 rebounds. Fagbemi and Taylor had 19 points each. Mike Evagaru had 18 in his first game in the starting lineup. Did really, really well, especially on the defensive end. Just a very solid, gutsy effort by the Bears yesterday. If you were there, you know. Had chances to lose it, had chances to win it. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now we're off for a few days this week until Saturday when we take on Georgia Tech from the ACC at noon, our time, down in Atlanta. Yellow Jackets are coached by a name you might be familiar with, former NBA player Damon Stoudemire. They are 2-3, including a loss to North Florida in our conference, and losses to Georgia and Cincinnati. Obviously, nothing wrong with those losses. I will tell you at 1 o'clock today, no one tweet this out yet, but Elias Cato is ASUN Player of the Week. Lane Taylor is ASUN Newcomer of the Week. But sit on it for about 30 more minutes. And I know he's excited to get up here today and talk about a D1 win, so let's bring up Coach John Shulman.
let's not forget what this week, like, let's take like 2 seconds, and this is Thanksgiving on Thursday, correct? So we're not gonna actually practice on Thursday, because I'm a really good guy, all right? But take a moment to be thankful for what we all have and what we all get to do. And I'm very thankful. Matt was in here. Yeah, Matt, I can't even tell you how thankful I am to be at Central Arkansas. And so I'm very thankful to Dr. Davis and Matt Whiting and Brad. And it just, you know, I called an old coach today who got me in coaching and told him thank you. So like, take a second this week, and if you're thankful for somebody, give them a call this week. It's a good week. Give them a call. Tell them thank you. I would tell you this area, anybody ever watched the Seinfeld episode, Bizarro World, the thing when everything was the opposite? I had a very strange text after the SEMO game. And we played our guts out. We missed 2 free throws under 25 seconds to go to win the game. And to lose that game's heartbreaking. Well, a very unattractive gentleman in the back table right there with the long hair named Fiddler sent me a text. And I've never received a text like that. He told me that we appreciate you for taking a chance on us. Like, if Conway, Arkansas, and Central Arkansas can keep that mentality, I mean, that's amazing. I was like, are you kidding? You know how hard that makes me want to work hard for you? And so, like, this is bizarro world out here. People are nice. People are friendly. People want a good neighbor. People appreciate hard work. And that's why I appreciate you back. And that meant a lot to me. And I really appreciate that text, especially after that game. So let me explain to you what we've been through. Western Illinois, like, we're used to winning every close game. Basketball, -5, +5, and 5 to play, that's what it's going to come down. We win every close game. That's what we did at Huntsville. That's what we do. We win all close games. Western Illinois, we're up 10 with 6 to play. Tie game with 30 seconds to play and make the 2 goofiest plays. I've never seen anything like it to lose the game. SEMO, battle, they're good. They have a chance to beat Vanderbilt. We battle our guts out, and we on the foul line to win the game. 20 seconds to go. Miss, get the offensive rebound, get fouled, miss again. I mean, we're finding ways to lose. And then play the best, you know, you just talked about North Florida beat Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech. Asheville went to North Florida and won by 15. So I'm going, we got to make a statement. And we're battling. But to go in overtime after being up 2 with 7 seconds to go yesterday and missing another free throw, and then fouling with 1 second to go in overtime, and then giving up the 3 and the single in the first overtime, to keep battling back, you got to have some issues. And I'm glad our guys got issues, because we are trying to teach them to be flipping warriors. It doesn't matter what's it, you know, because I talked to you last week about it. Life's not perfect, and they're going to come to some battles, and they're going to have an issue with their kid, or they're going to have an issue at work. What do? You just bag it? No, you just battle through it. And we battled through it. Sometimes you like get rewarded for those battles, though. And yesterday we got rewarded. And it was a really, really, really good feeling to finally get rewarded. Listen, I do want you to understand, I am absolutely, what you see on the line is a crazy man. That's me. I'm not hiding anything. I am fighting for our program. I'm fighting for the university. I'm fighting for the community. I am tired of teams walking in here and just thinking that they're going to come in here and get a win. And I told the officials yesterday, I said, I'm sorry, but I'm fighting for our program. And I'm going to fight you. I'm going to fight you. I'm going to battle you. And you know, very simple. Man, I appreciate what you're doing. Been here 13 straight years. This is different. I want it to be different. I want it to be uncommon. I want it to be different. I want people to come in and say, good gracious day, do those guys play hard. Good God, do they play hard. And I think listen, Asheville, how they play, they are tough dudes. And it's a great way to play. They just try to bully you. They come in and they bully you. Well, what do you do to a bully? You either give them your lunch money or you bully back. And we were tough enough to say, not today. Not today. And so, listen, we are literally 15 seconds away from being 4-2 without anything stupid happening. Well, if he makes this shot, no, just make a free throw. Don't foul. Don't turn the ball over. Like 2 plays from being 4-2. So, but we're not. But let me just tell you something. Yesterday was sweet. And the excitement of seeing our kids get rewarded in that locker room was precious to me. Because we put them through a heck of a lot. And so we are excited to win that game yesterday. And we're excited. We're getting close to where we want to get to. The only problem is Jabari West broke his hand. So his hands broke. Tyler Lee, Mr. Basketball in the state of Tennessee, won 2 state championships, got a meniscus, already had surgery on his leg. They say he's out for the year. After the SEMO game, he texts me, Coach, I can play. Tyler, you just had knee surgery, buddy. You're on crutches, non-weight bearing. Coach, I know how my body feels. I can play. You ain't going to be stressing long. I can play. I appreciate that, Tyler. You're not going to play. But those are the kids we got. I mean, we had 4 scholarship players out yesterday. And our kid, like Braden and Lane, played 45 minutes apiece. It's ridiculous. I mean, do you understand the age of Asheville's kids? Number 3, that's his 5th year. They're all 5th year guys. Number 11 was at Providence. And we're out there playing with little children. And one day they're not going to be little children. They're going to be grown men. And when they're grown men, they better be here. So we're going to keep them here. You know why we're going to keep them here? The NIL, bull crap. We're going to keep them here because we're going to love them. We're going to hold them accountable. They're members of our family. And we're going to run our program in a different way than everybody else in the country. And so I'm just telling you. So hopefully you don't think I'm absolutely crazy on the sideline. Everything's got a rhyme and reason. I'm fighting for our kids. And they fought for us yesterday. And they fought for us last Thursday, and they fought for us last Saturday. Now, our schedule doesn't get a whole lot kinder. We're at Georgia Tech on Saturday. Damon Stoudemire, he played in the NBA. I was a 23-year-old graduate assistant at East Tennessee State that with them when he was at Arizona in the first round of the NCAA tournament. And then we played Michigan in the second round, the 5, and we didn't. They were doing NIL before NIL was legal. And so I mean they were ahead of the game, so you got to give them that. They're always making. They were one step ahead of the game. But it'll be a great experience. It will be better than going to Charlotte, to Peoria, driving an hour and a half to Macomb, Illinois. All we got to do is fly to Atlanta. We are going to take Thanksgiving off. I think it's important. And also I got to remember it's still November. It's still November. We're trying to get to January 2nd. But I'm really excited. I'm just excited for our kids. Excited for our kids. Excited that we have some success and against a really good basketball team. So I think we're heading in the right direction. We got film today at 3:15. We're not going to practice today. Practice in the morning. Practice Wednesday. Taking Thursday off. Practicing Friday morning. Head to Atlanta and get ready to play Georgia Tech. And then we got scheduled to get to Arkansas. That's the easy one. Calipari. I don't even know who that is. And then we got Oklahoma, and so I'm excited. We're getting better every single game. You see these little kids get better and better and better. We got a lot of stuff to clean up. Well, boy, it's a lot nicer to clean up something after a W instead of going what if. And so we got to do it the other way. But we'll clean some stuff up today and film and tomorrow, and looking forward to getting better. Questions? Yes, sir.
You've got a lot of young freshmen.
Yes. Well, I look how I look.
You
number one, they don't have a choice. Like Ben Fox looked at me before he was sicker than a dog in Illinois. He said, Coach, I can play. I can play. No crap, man. There was not even a discussion, buddy. You were going to play whether you were sick or not, buddy. You gotta grow up. I talked about this a long time ago. I had a guy when I was a little kid. I was really bad at baseball. And I wanted to be good at baseball. And I had this guy named Ralph Chubb tell me how good I was in baseball, and then we'd go work. We'd go work on baseball. And I was terrible. And he told me every day how good I was. He gave me belief. He encouraged me. He gave me belief. Well, giving someone belief, is there anything better in life than you can give another human belief that they can do something they don't think they can do? I spent every time out, besides trying to save turning the ball over in the backcourt, but I spent every time out going, we got this. You can do this. Believe in yourself. You can do this. You are ready to do this. Well, now they know. But if you don't know, you don't know. And so you just try to give kids belief. That's what you're doing. And we're stuck with all these young kids, which I love. It was my choice, not real intelligent, but it was my choice to get these young kids, because that's how I believe a program needs to be built. Not with hired guns. You bring them in for 1 year, y'all get to know them for a year, and they're gone. I don't like that. And I'm going to fight it to the very end. And my very end may be, if Fiddler's involved, I got a lifetime contract. All right, you need to be the president. That's coming. All right.
Now, just now.
And but it's just about giving kids belief. It's just about giving kids belief. And sometimes you put kids in a situation at BYU where it's hard. It's hard. Like Lane Taylor looked at me, he said, Coach, I was about to throw up the whole game, I was so nervous. And I was like, and Lane's got a very confident kid, but they're kids. And they're at BYU, but the BYU experience and the Utah experience, and now all of a sudden you see them growing. And I told you, Matt, by January 2nd, they got to be sophomores. They got to be sophomores by January 2nd. And the problem is Ty Robinson hadn't really played this year. And Ty Robinson is Lane's running mate. They're like Batman and Robin. Actually, Ty's Batman and Lane's Robin, because he's like this tall. All right? But we get Ty back. We get some of these kids back. I think Jabari's going to be out for 6 weeks. We get some of those kids back. Who knows? Who knows? Keep dreaming and keep believing and keep giving kids belief. Someone did that for me, because I was a non-talented little kid from Johnson City, Tennessee, and someone gave me belief. And so I don't think there's a strong thing to do in this world that we live in. Anything, G, I'm looking at you. I know you got something.
I got a statement.
Uh-oh.
During timeout in the first half yesterday, the official came over to talk to me.
To you?
Yeah, I'm sitting in my chair behaving.
All right, go ahead.
He goes, man, you're on the wrong end. I said, well, we're down here, And he's, the culture change. And I said, I'm going to try to do that. And we talked a little bit, and we talked about you. And the bottom line was, he was enjoying the conversation he was having with you as he'd run back and forth.
Yeah, well, here's what I do believe, and I tell every official, I love our relationships. Before the game and after the game. I have great relationships. Matt Shulman's named after an official. Before the game and after the game. The problem is, during the game, I am biased. I have an agenda. You're trying to be fair. I don't want you to be fair. I want you to be pulling for our team. All right? And our team is the Bears. And so I don't like you. I need you right here, and you're on a different agenda than I am. So I've got to try to convince you to be on our agenda for 40 more minutes. If I can't, I thought, listen, the officials are officials. I wouldn't want to be an official. I just want to tell you that. I wouldn't want to have a bang-bang call when Braden stole that ball with 1 second to go and go up, and there's a bang-bang call. I'd have called a foul and let Braden shoot as many free throws as he could for us to win the game. But I wasn't the official. But it is what it is. But as soon as I promise you, as soon as that game's over, the game's over. They got a job to do, we got a job to do. As soon as game's over, and I have a relationship with those guys. And so, I appreciate you moving down there with me. I feel good. If I was gonna get in a fight yesterday, I knew you had my back. I feel good. With me and you going in a fight, me and you could absolutely beat up nobody. Anybody else got something? I'm very thankful. Thanksgiving week, I'm very thankful for all of you. Thank y'all very much. I appreciate it.
I thought there at one point yesterday you might need Gene. Got a little hairy there for a minute. Football Bears closed out the season on Saturday, dropped a 39-14 decision at Tarleton State, which is a playoff team, by the way. We had some really good individual performances. On defense, Tamarian Wilson had 14 tackles, including 4 tackles for loss. Demetrius Charles had 14 tackles, half a sack, half a tackle for loss. David Walker broke another school record. He had 10 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 1.5 sacks. That gives him 31 sacks career, breaking another Jonathan Woodard record. Just broke one 3 weeks ago. He now has both the sacks and the tackles for loss record, and he did it in 3 seasons as a Bear, which is pretty amazing. Also, last week he was invited to the Reese's Senior Bowl, accepted that on Thursday. That's a huge, huge honor for an FCS player. Shunderick Powell came back from a hamstring injury, rushed for 100 yards even on 11 carries. That's 9.1 yards per carry, and still not 100% healthy. Also caught 3 passes, 41 yards. He finished his career at North Alabama and UCA combined with 4,014 rushing yards. Pretty impressive. Darius Hale finished his career with 3,202 rushing yards, all here at UCA. 43 rushing touchdowns, 47 overall career touchdowns. Pretty impressive. Now let's wrap up the season with Coach Nathan Brown.
Thanks, Steve. Hearing those individual honors, obviously, that brings a smile to your face because of as you do as a coach, and as you go throughout years of watching guys grow up, it's just fun to watch them succeed, right? I mean, you're looking at a couple young men that Steve just mentioned that we'll be watching on Sundays this time next year. I've had the fortunate honor to be able to coach these guys for multiple years, and you look at a David Walker and what he's accomplished in a short amount of time here, and I've talked many times about the person he is as much as the player he is, but to get invited to the Reese's Senior Bowl, I would anticipate that an NFL Combine invite will be soon following, but that's where he has a chance to really go make a name for himself. Obviously his track record here and doing what he did here all speaks for itself, but now he gets to go do it against first-round tackles for a week at the Senior Bowl. So what a great honor that is. I anticipate Wilson having an opportunity in a postseason bowl game of some sort. Don't know what that will be yet, but he's had interest from several out there. What a great career he had as well. And then you talk about Shunderick, Darius, I can go down the line. Just fun to watch those young men play, and some of those guys are going to have a shot to in the 2025 spring NFL draft to hear their name called, or if not hear it called, hear it soon thereafter as a priority free agent. So want to make sure I mention that about those guys. Obviously, tough loss to a tough November. I mean, you look back as you reflect on the season, and obviously, I've been able to reflect on it for a little over 24 hours. It's kind of like I think heard Coach Shulman say the what if. It's kind of one of those seasons. What if? You'll go through spurts like that. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I'd never had more than a 2-game losing streak as a head coach, and now I'm working on 4. So things happen, and sometimes you can't explain it, you don't understand it, you want to question it, but you just got to keep going. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep scratching. You got to keep clawing. You got to make adjustments along the way. And so it's been a tough November. 6 weeks ago we were number 6 ranked team in the country, feeling good about ourselves, and it just spiraled, and for various reasons. Whether it's losing a close game, losing your momentum, not playing well on the road, injury attrition. I mean, there's a lot of factors into it. But I want to give Tarleton a lot of credit. They've done a good job there. Coach Witten has done a good job building that program. They've done a good job recruiting talented football players to Stephenville, Texas. And I anticipate them having a lot of success in the playoffs. And, we were in that game. We went at halftime down 14-7. Had a big stop, a 4th down stop right before halftime by our defense. Felt like our momentum was on our side going into the half. And, and we just, we hit a lull there, late in the third quarter into the fourth quarter with a couple special teams errors, a couple turnovers that we just weren't able to dig ourselves out of the hole in time for. And we knew, look, we weren't as explosive as we were 4 weeks ago. When you've got a, Shunderick, you guys that may have watched the game, I mean, he ran a 60-yard, however long it was, 60-yard touchdown. He was running three-quarter speed. I mean, and they still couldn't catch him. But there was by no means a healthy Shunderick Powell. He was just fighting it out for his last football game. And what a warrior he was. I thought Caleb had moments. Again, he had a great week 2 weeks ago, and he got a little exposed. And they made him move his mark and his feet. And as a quarterback, when you have to move your mark and your feet, you've got to be more. You've got to have a little more oomph on your ball, a little more talent on your throw. Some of those things, and some of that got exposed. Caleb's got a bright future, though. What a great kid for him to step in here the last couple games or 2 games plus. And really fight, scratch, and claw for the UCA Bears, and that's what you look for in a young student athlete. So definitely one of those endings of the season that puts a sour taste in your mouth. But with every sour taste comes new life, right? We've got an opportunity to right or wrong. We got an opportunity to hit the recruiting trail running. I told our coaching staff this morning. I said, man, y'all better keep the coffee cups coming. Because we're going to drink as much coffee as it takes to keep us going and turning this thing into something better. And I feel like we've got a good group of core guys coming back. I feel comfortable in some key positions with young men that plan to return. We are in the phase of exit meetings. We're in the phase of figuring out the future of some of our student athletes. Let's see here, about 6 years ago, you didn't really have to worry about that. They were yours, and so things and times have changed. So we're going to make sure on the forefront of our mind is to recruit our players first. And then we're going to go out and we're going to recruit as talented high school kids as we can find, and we're going to go recruit as many talented transfers that fit our mold and our culture and what's going to make us better moving forward. And that's our promise as a program, and as we steward this program moving forward into the next phase, which is hard to say this, but it's 2025, and pushing into the spring. What's on the horizon for us? Well, we've got an early signing period now that has changed this year. So December 4th through 7th, I believe, is the dates, or 5th through 7th, is early signing period for high school student athletes. So we have close to a dozen high school student athletes that are committed right now that plan to sign on that early signing period. There is a later signing date in a couple days, the week before Christmas. That's where you will sign junior kids and transfer portal kids. And then there's a late signing period, which is the first Wednesday of February, the one that's been there for years and years. So we will utilize all 3 phases, I'm sure, as far as the signing periods go. And like I said, we've got key spots that we need to go get experienced players in. And when I say experienced players, that means players that have a couple years of kind of like Coach Shulman saying, go recruit some grown men. We have to go recruit some grown men and some guys that have been in a college system for a couple of years and make a quick impact on certain spots. I'm a believer, just like you are, Coach. I'm a believer that you still got to build it with high school. I think that's important. I think you got to develop these young men. You got to try to build your culture as much as you possibly can in this day and age. So that we will still sign a good number of high school student athletes, not only from the state but our surrounding states that are in our footprint. We're excited about that opportunity. But as we shift the page, we're disappointed in the season. I can sit here in front of y'all and say, well, we did this, we did that. Our expectation is to win football games. I mean, at the bottom line is to win football games and win football games at a high rate. And we did that for the first part of the season, and we did not do that on the back part of the season. And it resulted in a dead even 6-6 football season. That's not good enough. I'm not okay with that as the person leading this program. And it's my job to continue to evaluate and make decisions moving forward that's going to allow us to take the next step. Because as we continue to try to take the next step in the world we're in college athletics, it's going to take outside-the-box thinking. It's going to take a greater effort, not only as in the recruiting world, but in maintaining and sustaining your program with your players and who you want to keep and who may need to go. I mean, there's a lot of things that have to happen in the world we're in. It's not your old school like when I played. You came in with the group and you're there for 4 or 5 years. It's just not. And so Constant evaluation in our program that has to do with our student athletes, our coaches, the way I run things. I heard John say that he had to adjust some of the things he was doing last year into this year. That's the same thing. Shame on me as a coach if I'm not doing that, if I'm not growing, right? I'm not perfect. Things I do, things that may have worked 4 years ago don't work as well now. There's just a lot of things that you got to continue to be adaptable and grow in the world we're in. So, but I'm excited. I'm motivated. I hope you guys can see a little sparkle in my eye. But I really am. I'm excited about the future. And I'm telling you this, we're going to continue to recruit and have good men in this program. There's no doubt about that. One thing about it is they might have lost on the field 6 times this year, but they're not losers. Y'all got me? They're good boys, and they gave everything they had for this program. And I did that as a student athlete here, so I get it. I lived it with them. I dressed in the same locker room they're in. You know what I mean? So I know what it takes, and those boys left it out there. And there was one thing you could not deny about our team, and they played their butts off, and they worked their tails off. Wasn't always perfect, wasn't always exactly what Coach Brown wanted, but they played their butts off for this program and this university. And we've got to continue to recruit players like that, but then we've got to make them better, right? We've got to continue to grow and be innovative and be better. So excited about what's ahead. I am. Even coming off a 6-6 and a November like we've had, I've never been a part of something like that, and never want to be a part of something like that again. But you know what? It's okay. Sun came up today, Coach Shulman, right?
Better today for me.
Yeah, a lot better for you.
I've had some cloudy days.
Just I'll be looking for your text tomorrow morning, picking me up. You know what I'm saying?
You picked me up. I know I'm not supposed to talk. Let me
I didn't mean to let him intervene. Sorry.
Like as a coach, you appreciate it. He texts me all the time, encouraging me, and I appreciate that as a fellow coach.
Because I know what it means to get a text, right? So that's why I do it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate what you're doing.
Well, I appreciate it, man. But yeah, looking forward to it. You guys, I'm excited. Again, thankful this Thanksgiving. We're not taking much of a break. We're hitting the ground running. We'll be probably for about the next, we're in the office right now doing some exit meetings and team meetings and stuff, getting things wrapped up for the semester with our current players. But right after this week, we'll be on the road. We'll be on the road pretty much three and a half straight weeks of, the tires hitting the pavement and finding kids and families that want to be a part of something special. And we're looking forward to that opportunity. Any questions? Miss Donna.
How's Austin?
He is getting better. So his ankle is, he had an ankle and a shoulder, and his ankle is in good shape. It was just a great kind of a level 2 sprain. He is still in a sling with his shoulder because he had a little bit of a sublux, a little bit of a separation in his AC joint. I would anticipate by the time the semester's wrapped up, he's going to be 100%. So I would anticipate when we come back in January for off-season workouts and all that aspect, Austin will be ready to rock and roll. But great kid and working his butt off. Nobody hurt more than him because he knew his opportunity was right there to really show what he can do these last couple games, and it hurt him, and I hate that for him. Good people, unbelievable people, great family. Everybody good? I like seeing smiles. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Good deal. Good deal. Well, just again, tonight in the Fair Center, 6:30 p.m. versus CBC. Hope to see you there. We have a toy drive. So if you want to support that initiative, you want to bring a toy going to a kid at Christmas, we would appreciate that. Just want to echo what Coach Shulman said, and Coach Shulman, appreciate you bringing that up. Just Thanksgiving, and we have a lot to be thankful for. And just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving this week. Hope you get to spend time with family and friends. And just appreciate you being here. So let's have a great week. Go Bears. Go Sugar Bears. Bear Claws up.